naglilingkod ng tama ngayong Pasko hanggang dumating ang 2025.
Ang programang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng Pagcor. Ang programang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng Petron. Petron knows you deserve only the best.
Ang bahaging ito ay hatid sa inyo ng PCSO, hindi umuurong sa pagtulong.
Moving forward kami sa Sulong na Bayan. Ang inyong paboritong public service program ay susulong na naman. Maririnig kami sa bagong time slot na alas 5 hanggang alas 6 ng gabi, Lunes hanggang Biyernes. Sa prime time slot na ito, higit na maraming listeners at viewers ang aabuti ng aming iba't ibang segments tulad ng Gospel Verse a Day, balita sa special sectors tulad ng OFW, senior citizens, Chinoy community at iba pang makabuluhang sektor. Makakasama ang veteran journalist na si Loli Acosta. Mabuhay! Sulong na Bayan!
Alright, mapagpalang hapon po sa ating mga tagapakinig. Welcome po sa ating programang Sulong na Bayan. At tayo po ay napapakinggan at napapanood sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening as the case may be, lalong-lalo na po sa Estados Unidos, sa East Coast, sa West Coast, ganoon rin po sa gitnang silangan. Napakalakas po natin sa Kingdom of Saudi Arabia dyan sa Jeddah, Riyadh, Dubai, Qatar, at syempre sa iba't iba pang panig ng mundo na malapit dyan, no less than sa ating down under na tinatawag sa Australia. So hello mate. At syempre sa mga karating pook pa sa Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Singapore, Hong Kong, Myanmar, Papua New Guinea. Malakas din na po tayo sa Portugal at ganyan rin sa European countries, lalo na sa Hungary, sa Romania, at sa Finland at sa Germany. Dito naman po sa atin, lungsod natin sa buong Pilipinas, 77,000 islands actually ay Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. Lalong-lalo na po sa ating mga kapatira Muslim, Assalamu alaikum. Alright, on our segment for today, ngayon po ay araw ng Martes, we have the Unvoice and Entrepreneur segment. And to co-host with me, no less than the former president of National Press Club, Mr. Fred Gabot, before he introduce or actually before he greets you. At syempre, ang ating magiging panauhin ay napaka-articulate sa lahat ng pagdating sa information campaign ng American Embassy. Siya po si Mr. Kanishka Gango Pajay. Pero malapit na pong dumating at naantala lang, so we will wait for him. Siya po ang Information Officer ng Embassy of the United States of America. So, greet everyone first, Mr. Gabot, para pag-usapan natin dahil election sa Amerika ngayon. Actually, bukas.
Magandang hapon sa lahat na nakikinig sa iyong programa, Lolit.
Siguro give us a backgrounder, Mr. Gabot, kasi ikaw ay napakatagal na naging foreign news editor ng Manila Bulletin. Backgrounder lang, ano po ba itong tinatawag na 55 years nga ba ang colonization ng Amerika sa atin, sa ating bansa?
Well, matapos ang 333 years of Spanish colonization,
330.
dumating ang Amerika noong Mayo 1898. Naglaban ang Spanish Armada at American warships sa pangunguna ni Admiral Dewey at tinalo nila ang mga Spaniards.
Okay.
Kaya that was May 1898 and eventually took over, colonized and made the Philippines a territory of the United States for 55 years until it was given independence in 1946. Kaya't nung napakaswerte ng mga Pilipino nung araw because when the Philippines was under the United States, we were treated as U.S. nationals.
Ganun.
Yeah, so wala nang bisa-bisa. Kahit
Dati.
anong oras ka pumunta sa Amerika, pabalik-balik. At ganun nga, hindi katulad ngayon na medyo we have to
apply.
Yeah, we have to apply.
And follow the rules.
And napakaganda rin ang nagawa ng Amerika sa atin sapagkat
Ano ba yung
ang
nagawa?
unang ginawa nila is Americanize the Philippines. Ano yung
Ano ibig sabihin yan?
ano yung Americanization
Ating viewers.
sa Pilipinas? They implanted the English language through the education by opening up pre-public schools. to everybody. Hindi katulad ng Spaniards nung araw.
Dito
na
yan sa
medyo,
Pilipinas,
Yes.
Okay.
Hindi katulad ng Spaniards nung araw na medyo
Sila lang.
medyo selective. Yung mga mayayaman lang nagkakaroon
Pwede
ng
makaaral.
magandang. Pero sila
Open sa
nagbukas, open sa lahat, nagbukas
What
ng
year was this?
yan, that was 1898.
1898.
Effectively, 1901. Kasi
Kasi-
effectively, 1901 nag-umpisa yan na talagang open public school
Independent.
system. Karamihan ang katotohanan yan, karamihan ng mga importanteng colleges and universities ngayon sa ating Pilipinas,
Ito.
they were all founded during the American colonization. And bukod doon, para lalong matuto ang mga Pilipino, ay they imported experts, teachers from the United
Expert in the
States.
field, oo.
And naging popular na tinawag silang Thomasites kasi
Bakit?
yung mga several batches of teachers, American teachers, sila'y lulan nung USS Thomas, isang
Isang ship.
malaking barko at sila'y napunta dito
Kaya
sa
pala
Pilipinas.
Thomasites.
Yan.
Doon ang galing.
And
Malaking barko.
bukod sa pagtuturo ng English at saka yung American Dream,
Yes.
na Americanized talaga yung sistema ng democracy and others, yan ang ginawa ng
Kasi ang laki ng
Amerika.
impluensya nila, Mr. Gabot, dahil sa ating mga batas. Karamihan ng ating batas ay parang
Yeah.
hango at saka modeled o sila yung parang ginawang modelo.
Lahat ng modelo ng ating gobyerno ay
Constitution
ayon sa Estados Unidos din. Yung ating first constitution,
First constitution.
nga under them parang kopya lang ng US Constitution.
Bakit
Kaya,
ganun? Kailangan kopyahin sila.
para mabilis maka-operate kaagad ang sistema ng mga panahon
At
na yun.
pinayagan ng ating pamunuan yan kung sino man yung presidente that time.
Well, sabi nga ni President Quezon noon
Manuel L. Quezon.
mas gugustuhin pa niya na ang gobyerno ay run by
Foreign.
Filipinos na hindi ganong marunong kaysa run by the other people. Kaya medyo napaka nakintal sa isipan ng mga Pilipino yung kaya na for a while.
So that early on, Americanized na tayo. Magaling tayo mag-English.
Well,
Kaya pala ang gagaling ng mga Pinoy mag-English.
Bukod doon, kung may bukod dyan, yung mga matatalinong Pilipino, pinapadala pa sa Amerika, pero nag-aaral,
Pinapag-aral.
libre. At
Free.
alam mo kung ano mga university kung saan sila nag-aaral? Harvard,
Wow.
yung
Yale. Naku,
lahat,
lalaking
napakagaling.
universidad.
Pero,
Libre yun.
Yes, libre. Scholar
Para
sila at sila'y bumalik sa Pilipinas, sila'y naging future leaders ng ating mga
Naging
bansa.
mambabata siguro
And
natin yung
some of them established the schools also. Isa sa mga unang eskwelahan na tinayo ng
establish
yung
dito.
University of the Philippines.
UP.
Kaya't yung unang mga presidente ng UP noon at mga regents,
Magaling.
puro mga Amerikano.
Board of Regent Amerikano.
Yan, oo.
So in other words, ang laki ng influensya in as far as education and then mga laws of the land, lahat yan hango sa kanila. At kaya pala maaayos din ang pagtrato sa atin ng ibang bansa.
Yan.
Kasi maganda yung ating pamamaraan.
Dahil dyan, napamahal ang Amerika sa mga Pilipinos. Kaya nga, whenever I'm invited sa speaking engagements sa
Para
Amerika,
magsalita
inuunahan ko ng joke ko yan. Sinasabi ko, the Philippines is no longer a colony of the United States. In fact, America is the biggest province of the Philippines. Bakit? Siyempre,
Papayag kaya sila?
Bakit sinasabi ko yun? Kasi ang pinakamalaking probinsya dito sa Pilipinas, yung Cavite, in terms of population,
Yes.
more than 3 million lang ang population niya. Pero ang Amerika, alam mo ba kung
Gaano kadami na ba sila?
4.5 million na based on the census.
Okay.
Hindi pa kasama dyan yung siguro mga kalahating milyon na TNT.
Wala pa. Yun nandito.
Yung mga TNT doon, ang tatago, walang
So 4.5
yung based on the
tayo.
census.
Okay.
Oh.
Oo, yun yung on record.
Yan,
ano?
oh.
Could be more.
Kaya sinasabi ko na biggest province kasi napakadaming Pilipino kaysa biggest province dito sa Philippines, Amerika. And bukod dyan, ang mga Pilipino sa Amerika, they send money
Ay, yes. Yan
sa
tayo pa
Pilipinas, billion. Kung halimbawang 50 billion ang
Every year.
pinapadala ng mga overseas Filipinos from all over the world,
Right.
about 150 countries. Sa Amerika, 40% nanggagaling.
Oo.
Amerika,
Sa dami ng
Canada.
ating mga
sa dami ng
Pinoy na
mga
andun na,
Pilipinos
migrant
doon
workers
at
natin doon.
maganda ang kanilang hanap buhay,
Trabaho.
malaki ang kanilang kinikita.
Oo. At saka, yung kanilang trabaho po ay mga professionals yan eh. Hindi naman basta-basta.
Well, nung una, siyempre,
Ano ba yan?
nakikita natin na yung unang mga Pilipino na punta sa Amerika, actually, yung mga sumakay sa galleon
Sa
trade
galleon
ng
trade,
Spain.
of course.
Ng Spain. Kaya nga, at one time, prinopose ng isang Filipino judge na sana gawin na lang na Filipino Filipino territory ang California. Kasi
Sa dami ng Pinoy.
Oo, kasi at that time
Right.
yung Russians they wanted to advance sa Alaska and the mainland America. Kaya nagpropose itong isang Filipino
Gawin na lang Pinoy.
Gawin, dalhin natin yung mga Pilipino doon. Pero hindi natuloy
Pero sinasabi mo 4.5 million ang Pinoys doon ngayon sa Amerika. Kasama na dyan ang East Coast, West Coast.
lahat all
Okay.
over the country. Ang pinakamaraming
Basta sa-
population, syempre, yung pinakamamahal na California.
Los
Kasi
Angeles,
more
San
than
Diego.
1.5 million Filipinos of the 4.5 million Filipinos ay nasa
Sa California.
And isa sa mga states na napakaraming Pilipino rin, yung Hawaii.
Right.
27% of the population of
Nagulat
Hawaii
tayo dyan,
are
alam mo,
Filipinos.
pagdating natin dyan sa kanilang paliparan para akong hindi umalis ng Ilocos. Kasi lahat nagdi-DJ.
Yeah.
Ay, sabi ko, tika muna, Pilipino yun na.
Yeah.
Nasa ibang, siguro sa duty-free area, maririnig mo, nagdi-DJ, Ilocano language. Pagdating naman dun sa customs, DJ na naman. Parang sabi ko, nandito na ba tayo sa Amerika? Kasi nga, sabi mo, napakarami ng Pinoy natin doon. Bakit nga napakarami sa Hawaii?
Hindi lang napakarami ang Pilipino, pero in quality, lahat ng strata ng American society, nandiyan ang mga Pilipino. Kaya nagkaroon tayo ng Chief Justice ng Supreme Court ng California, nagkaroon tayo ng Attorney General na Pilipino, si Rob Bonta sa California,
Right.
nagkaroon
Pinoy
tayo
yan.
ng Governor sa Hawaii na Pilipino, nagkaroon tayo ng 3 Senate Presidents sa State Senate ng Hawaii, nagkaroon tayo ng Assemblyman sa many states in the country sa House of Representatives nila sa states. And marami tayong mga mayor katulad sa
Milpitas.
Daly City. Pilipino ang mayor natin ngayon, si Jocelyn Manalo. Yung sa San Diego, your favorite city also, Pilipino rin, si Tad Gloria.
Madam Gloria.
Marami. Kaya marami tayong Filipino inventor, marami tayong artista, all strata of society, nandiyan ang mga Pilipino. Kahit
anong industriya,
kahit
nandiyan tayo.
nandiyan. At very important, especially nung pandemic, yung health service ng mga Pilipinos nangyari. At kaya nga nirecognize yan around the world kung paano sila nakatulong. At hindi lang nakatulong, the sad fact is marami ring Filipino nurses and doctors na namatay dahil sa paglaban sa COVID.
Right. Pero healthcare providers, ang dami.
Yan.
Tayo pinasasalamatan ng isang mga kapanayam ko dyan nung nandun tayo sa bandang Orange County. Lahat sila nagpapasalamat dahil ang Pilipino napakabibilis daw kumilos. Mga healthcare providers siya. Nandyan yung nurse, nandyan yung caregiver, nandyan na rin yung doktor. Pag sinabing may COVID, agad-agad. Sila yung all other nationalities, hindi nila na-mention except tayo daw. We love you, sabing ganun, dahil you guys really helped us a lot in the times that we needed you most, itong COVID.
Marami kong istorya na kinolek ko sa isang libro na just recently
Share us.
launched by Amazon. Yung ang titulo ng libro ko yan is California, a Philippine Territory Almost, and Other Stories. At yung mga yan ay nabanggit ko, yung ating moving forward ng mga Pilipino sa Amerika, bawat sa including for a time yung big part of Texas used to be called New Philippines.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
Kailan yan?
Medyo
Pero ganun pa rin ang tawag dyan ngayon?
hindi na.
New
Siyempre,
Philippines?
Texas na.
Okay.
Kasi
Bakit tinawagan, tinaguri ang
nung
New
tinake over ng
Philippines?
mga Spaniards, gusto nilang i-model sa nangyari sa Philippines. Kaya
Yung bagong
Nueva
Pilipinas,
Pilipinas, bagong Pilipinas.
Right,
yung
Texas yan.
nangyari.
Tsaka sa, Mexico siguro, ang dami ring Pinoy. Mga magugulat ka, ang gagaling din
Yeah.
Ingles at tsaka Mexican.
Maraming Pinoy
Espanyol.
kasi because of the galleon trade. 250 years of galleon trade. Manila, Acapulco.
Ano bang ibig sabihin nun? Mga trade and business,
Iba-ibang,
lakal,
yung mga barko,
barko nila, balik-balik.
karamihan Pilipinos. Actually, hindi pa naman sila ganong tawag na Pilipino noon.
Anong tawag?
Mga Indios,
Indios.
mga ganyan pa, mga tawag sa kanila noon. Pero
Pero
marami
Pinoy
sa
pa rin.
kanila, dahil sa kanilang expertise sa
Trabaho
boat, shipbuilding, pagpapatakbo ng barko,
Barko.
karamihan ay sinasama nila. But many of them jump ship.
Yun.
Siyempre, unfounded settlements like in Louisiana, in the bayous of Louisiana. And
Nagstay na.
yung iba, nandun din sa Mexico. Kasi history will tell us na yung ibang presidente ng Mexico were of Filipino descent. Alam mo ba yun? Kaya, especially in the Veracruz region, where according to them, yung ating mango, doon daw nang galing.
Sa atin, doon?
Yun,
Parang ayoko
galing.
yatang pumayag.
Doon
No?
ang galing. Pero yung mango nila na
mas
galing
masarap
doon,
yung
mas
mangga
masarap
natin.
yung mango natin dito.
Dito.
Pero in the meantime, dahil mabili yung mango ng Pilipinas, anong ginawa nila? Ni-register nila Manila mango. Yung kanilang
Ayun.
mango.
Mango, Manila mango.
Yun ang ine-export nila sa Estados Unidos. Okay.
So, ang dami nating palang talagang matatawag na nakuhang impluensya sa kanila. Being, sinasabi mo nga, 55 years of colonization.
Yes.
Magaganda pa ang kanilang mga itinuro. And the fact na sila ay learned, mataas ang edukasyon nila, at nai-share nila sa atin, sa mga Pinoy, yung ganitong klaseng talento. Makapag-aral ka ba naman ng libre? In fact, ngayon, yung isang nakapanayam natin, of course, sa Education USA nila, napakalakas ng kanilang kampanya for us to really study there in the United States again. May mga freebies. Hindi naman, may bayad pero madami ring libreng scholarship and all.
Yeah, I attended.
Pinaiigting nila yan. You attended it.
Yeah,
last
I
week.
attended that event sa
Right.
Ayala.
What happened? Opo,
Ayala 1.
Education USA.
And nagulat ako kasi dati when I was trying to enroll sa college or university in the United States, ang foreign student magbabayad pa ng additional $15,000 in
dollars,
addition to the regular tuition fee.
Okay.
Oh.
Iba pa pala
ngayon, sabi nila doon sa education fair, wala na yun. At they even will help you secure your visa, student visa
visas.
to be able to study in the United States. At the same time, they have also some scholarship available and they will help
Libre.
you also. Yeah, the scholarship.
So madami ba nung ikaw ay nakapag
More than
attend ng
40
pagpupulong
colleges and
dumating?
universities ang attended.
Anong mga American universities yan?
Of course,
Kasama ba dyan ng Yale?
of course, mayroon dyan. Hindi, wala
Hindi.
dyan. Pero
Okay.
among those that I know of is the San Francisco State University.
UCLA, mga
Yan,
ganyan.
oo.
University
For a
of
while kasi I attended some classes sa Stanford University.
Stanford, malaki yan.
I studied modern printing and publishing techniques for a while.
Right.
In the 1980s, nung ang printing techniques noon medyo makaluma pa. Wala pa yung
Heidelberg.
internet, wala pa yung cellphone,
Heidelberg
wala pa
pa noon,
yung
ng mga
pagination and so
Okay.
forth and so on. But it gave me a wide perspective
Malawak.
as to how Filipinos can move on and progress in the United States of America.
So you think ang Amerika is matatawag nating ang laki ng ibinago ng ating kultura?
Yes, because of the karamihan nga sa atin, ang tingin
American. Kala Amerikana.
oo. Pero marami rin.
Okay.
Siyempre, ang nagagalit dahil sa
bakit
Amerika.
daw?
Okay. Dahil unang-una, inexploit nila ang ating natural resources for a long time.
Right. Yung
And
ating-
they own a lot of mining and properties in
Here.
here under the Laurel-Langley Agreement. And they took over the Subic Naval Base, which used to be actually the Filipino
bases.
Naval Base and Spanish Naval Base.
Okay.
And then they took over Clark. It used to be called Fort Stotzenberg.
Fort Stotzenberg. Pero nakaigi rin yan.
Nakaigi rin
Advantages
because
din.
as we see now, the presence of the United States military forces in the country became a deterrent in the advances of China in
yung
South
ibang-
China Sea and
Yung ibang-
West Philippine Sea. Nung nawala na yung Amerika, tignan mo ang ginawa ng
West Philippine Sea.
China.
Right. Ayan na,
They are
advance
doing
advance.
dangerous
Some
maneuvers.
allegedly.
They reclaim shoals and islets at ginawa nilang military bases, and they continue
Right.
these dangerous maneuvers sa ating sa ating supposed to be Philippine territory, which is Philippine Sea,
Right.
and our exclusive economic zone. And that we are the importance of
yung
these,
ironclad relationship. ano?
these bases is now coming to the fore again, and that is why slowly
Ayan.
we have
Slowly
this
and surely.
EDCA.
EDCA na tayo. Ayan.
PSA
We're safe.
and EDCA on a smaller level to be able to help and
Si
protect
Big
our
Brother,
country.
ika nga, is there.
country.
So don't worry about it.
So-
Pagdating natin, actually, we have to return. We have to pause for a quick break because our visitor has already arrived from Embassy of United States of America. But we have to pause for a quick break and you will learn a whole lot. So don't worry. We will return in few minutes. The Philippine Standard Time is 5:25 in the afternoon.
Oras, hatid sa inyo ng PAGCOR.
That time check was brought to you by MX3.
MX3 capsule helps avoid pain discomfort. Iwas-iwas sa sakit.
Si Miss Loli Acosta, Sulong na Bayan sa DWIZ 882.
Ang bahaging ito ay inihatid sa inyo ng PCSO. Hindi umuurong sa pagtulong.
Panatilihing masaya ang paglilibang. Magtakta na oras at limitahan ang gastos sa paglalaro. Huwag magsugal kung nalulungkot. Huwag hayaang makasira ng buhay at pamilya. Para sa impormasyon ukol sa responsible gaming, tumawag lamang sa hotline number 02-8404-0171 o bisitahin ang www.casinofilipino.ph. Isang mensahe mula sa PAGCOR. Gambling is for 21 years old and above only. Keep it fun. Game responsibly.
Adik ka na ba sa sugal? Lagi ka bang nakakaramdam na matinding udyok na magsugal? Laging gigil na makabawi sa pagkatalo? Naglalaan ka ba ng mas malaking oras at salapi para sa sugal sa halip na para sa pamilya? Nababaon ka na ba sa utang at nagbebenta ng mga ari-arian dahil sa pagsusugal? Kung kailangan mo ng tulong o maging ang isang mahal mo sa buhay, may mga programa ang Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation o PAGCOR tulad ng Player Exclusion Program at iba pa. Para sa dagdag na detalye at impormasyon tungkol sa problem gambling, mag-log on sa www.pagcor.ph/regulatory/responsible.ph. Isang paalala mula sa PAGCOR. Game safely, game responsibly.
Hindi umuurong sa pagtulong, kawang gawa sa lahat sinusulong. PCSO, PCSO. Hindi umuurong sa pagtulong ang PCSO. PCSO.
Papalakas ng papalakas, palinaw ng palinaw, mga balita at impormasyong naiintindihan dahil malinaw mong nalaman. Tutok lang sa DWIZ mula umaga hanggang gabi. Updated on air and online. DWIZ, nagbabalita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama.
Ang balitang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng Petron. Petron knows you deserve only the best.
Latest, pinakabago at tama. DWIZ News Catch Up. News Catch Up.
Pilipinas, narito na ang tamang balita sa oras na ito. Senator Marcos tutol sa panukalang ipaglaban ang BARM elections. Detalye ng balita mula kay Patrol 19, Celi Ortega Bueno.
Kailangan ng marinig ang boses ng mga kapatid nating Muslim sa pamamagitan ng pagboto sa mga nais nilang mamuno sa Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao o BARMA. Ito binigyan din ni Senator Amy Marcos makaraang kontrahin ang panukalang ipagpaliban ang halalan sa BARM.
Marinig na ang boses ng taong bayan. Importante marinig na ang ating mga kapatid na Muslim at hayaan na sila bumoto sa mga kandidatong tunay na gusto nila.
Ano nakita niyo, Ma'am Reper?
Gihit ni Senator Marcos, napakalaki kasi ng perang sangkot sa BARM kung saan nasa 490 billion pesos na ang nailabas o naibigay sa kanila ng pamahalaan kaya't marami ang nagkaka-interes.
Ang mahirap kasi sa BARM, napakalaki ng pera involved. Kaya pinag-iinitan. Aminin natin, nasa 490 billion na siguro ang na-release mula sa poll. Yung sa Black Grant pa lamang, nasa 70 plus, 70 billion a year. Tapos plus. Kaya pinag-iinteresan ng marami at yung iba siguro gusto na manatiling forever ang kadatungan na yan.
Naniniwala ang Senator Marcos na isinaisang tabi na ng ating mga kapatid na Muslim ang karahasan kaya't hindi mangyayari ang sinasabi na baka magkagulo at magkaroon ng mga pambobomba kapag hindi tinuloy ang BARM elections. Ito si Patrol 19, Celi Ortega Bueno para sa impilang metodong lakas sa DWIZ. Nagbabalita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama.
DWIZ News Catch Up. News Catch Up.
Maliliit na negosyante makikipagtulungan upang maibsan ang pagsirit ng inflation sa 2.3%. Detalye ng balita mula kay Patrol 17, Jopel Pelenyo.
Handa ngang makipagtulungan ang grupo ng maliliit na negosyante na nagtitinda sa mga pamilyang bayan upang maibsan ang pagsirit ng inflation sa 2.3% dahil sa tila walang tigil na pagmahal ng mga bilihin at serbisyo. Ayon kay Vendors Party List Second nominee Lawrence Pesigan na makikipag-ugnayan sila sa mga market association o sa mga market upang makabuo ng mga hakbang na magpapababa sa presyo ng mga basic commodities. Mas palalakasin din aniya nila ang pakikipagtulungan sa mga local farmers lalo na't sila ang nagbababa ng mga produkto patungo sa mga merkado. Siniguro naman ni Malulipana ang unang nominee ng Vendors Party List na kanilang pag-aaralan ang lahat ng mga paraan na maaaring gawin upang maitaguyod ang interes at karapatan ng mga maliliit na negosyante na magbibigay naman ng magandang epekto para sa mga mamimili o sa taong bayan. Samantala sinabi ni Association of Private and Slaughterhouse Market and Operators President Wilfredo Bonbon Aga na magsasagawa ng pagpupulong ang kanilang grupo upang matalakay ang mga gagawing aktibidad para matulungan ang mga naging biktima ng nagdaang kalamidad, partikular na sa lalawigan ng Batangas. Ito si Patrol 17 Chopel Pelenyo para sa impilang may todong lakas, DWIZ, nagbabalita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama.
DWIZ News Catch Up. News Catch Up.
At yan ang mga tamang balita sa mga oras na ito. Mag-follow at subscribe sa lahat ng DWIZ News digital channels, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, X, DWIZ News app at DWIZ News website. Ako po si Gia Rafael, nagbabalita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama.
Oras-oras nagbabalita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama. DWIZ News Catch Up. News Catch Up.
Ang balitang ito ay inihatid sa inyo ng Petron. Petron knows you deserve only the best.
DWIZ! Ang bahaging ito ay hatid sa inyo ng PCSO. Hindi umuurong sa pagtulong.
Si Miss Loli Acosta, Sulong na Bayan sa DWIZ 882.
All right, we're back in our program. The segment is all about envoys and entrepreneurs. And we're so blessed he's here right now, no less than the Information Officer of Embassy of United States of America Public Affairs Department, Mr. Kanishka Gango Pajay. I hope I got it
You did get it right. Thanks,
all
Lali.
right.
Yes.
Greet everyone. And
Hi.
of course, we have our co-program host, no less than Mr. Gapot. Go.
Hi, sir. Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
No problem. We'll dive in because we have to know what's going on. All eyes of the world are now focused to the U.S. elections on November 5, that is tomorrow, with the historic campaign of Vice President Kamala Harris to become the first U.S. woman president. My gut feeling, and basing on the emails that swamped me in this past few days, Kanishka, flooded my emails actually, Vice President Harris will achieve her goal. Question, what is yours? Are you at liberty to make known your choice?
So, as a U.S. diplomat, I swear an oath to the Constitution of the United States, and we have something called the Hatch Act, which is to ensure that diplomats overseas serving our government serve regardless of party. So, I've worked for multiple parties. I swore in as a diplomat for the first time under the Bush administration. So, I've worked for Bush. I've worked for Obama. I've worked for Trump. I've worked for President Biden. In my capacity as a diplomat, I am not at liberty to discuss who I voted for. I can say that I did vote.
Okay.
I'm from Washington, in the Northwest, where I had the luxury of being able to vote by email. So I could actually fill out my ballot and then take a picture of my ballot with my phone and send it via email to my polling place. People across all the United States and overseas are going to be voting. Some have already voted, some will vote tomorrow. And we're looking forward to a peaceful voting process.
Well, that's fair enough. Go
Yes.
ahead and dive in. Your question.
Well, usually that's the line of diplomats. But anyway, this is a very historic election because 4.5 million Filipinos are actually in the United States, and they're looking forward to participating in the election, and maybe whoever wins, the continuation of strong relations with the Philippines. So, do you expect any change in that relationship, just in case there will be a new leadership at the White House?
So this is actually quite a popular question, and something that I've been asked both off the record and on the record. And I can tell you on the record that in my 2 years here in Manila, we've had the luxury of hosting high-level congressional delegations from the Republican Party, from the Democratic Party, and bipartisan and bicameral delegations as well. The Philippines is one of those places that the U.S. Congress, that our executive branch really care about. It's a very important bilateral relationship for the United States. We've had a treaty alliance since 1951. As Ambassador Romualdez has said, as various Filipino leaders have said, that alliance transcends politics. That is an important alliance for us. Every single congressional leader that has visited has said that there's one unique thing about the U.S.-Philippine relationship, which is that it is one of the very few issues in the U.S. Congress that both the Republicans and the Democrats agree upon. Both the Republicans and the Democrats agree that the U.S.-Philippine Treaty Alliance is something that needs to be honored, and that the U.S.-Philippine bilateral relationship is increasingly important. In fact, often between the parties, the question is not how much to support the Philippines, but how much more to support the Philippines. This is really powerful, and we're really lucky. I think that we are not going to see dramatic changes in the bilateral relationship. There may be changes elsewhere, I can't speak or speculate to that, and that's regardless of the result, because we will have a change in administration. But support for the Philippines, I think, will remain strong. I think we are also really proud to have 4.5 million Filipinos in the United States. They're a vital part of our country. I learned just the other day that the Philippines make up the second largest group of veterans after Mexican Americans in the U.S. military. I mean, that's a huge bedrock of our relationship. That's a strong foundation. I don't think you can go anywhere in the United States without meeting a Filipino. I'm from Seattle.
Everywhere you go.
I'm from Seattle, and I everywhere in Seattle you see Filipinos. I remember I had surgery about 15 years ago. My nurse was Filipino. My best friend, and this is not a joke. My best friend growing up. His name was Marco Rodriguez, and I just realized, wait a second, he was Filipino. He was just a friend. I mean, we just grew up together in high school. So these cultural ties really form a strong foundation for our bilateral relationship, and they're bigger than politics. Beyond that, the treaty alliance, like I said, is important, and the support from our political leaders for the Philippines transcends parties.
Right. Even actors and actresses. We have Filipino actors and actresses. And singers.
Actresses,
Bruno
singers,
Mars.
athletes, political leaders. I mean, I think we've seen that the Philippine diaspora in the United States is incredibly powerful. We also have 700,000 Americans at any given time who are in the Philippines. So that's another important part. I don't think that I've been in a country where I've seen that interplay, where there are Americans living there and Filipinos living back in the United States. It's a super important part of our relationship and one that makes it very durable.
Right.
Yeah, I'm glad to know that you are from Seattle, the city of my uncle, the famous Filipino writer Carlos Bolosan.
Okay.
He wrote America's in the Heart, which was published by University of Washington in 1946.
Well, that's where my brother-in-law went to university.
Yeah.
So.
And you're writing a book.
Well, I have just launched actually a book, California, a Philippine territory almost.
Almost.
Stories.
Everywhere you go,
Yeah.
nook and cranny, Filipinos there.
Yeah. It happened during the Spanish times when the Russians were reported to be making inroads to go to Alaska and California. And so there was a proposal for Filipinos to settle in California. But it never happened at that time. But today we have 1.5 million Filipinos in California alone.
I think it's the largest population. I think after that, I think it might be Hawaii.
Hawaii, 27% of the population are Filipinos.
And then this is something that really, I think, animates our bilateral relationship in a way that I think other bilateral relationships just don't have that connection. It's historic. It's obviously rooted in the connections between the United States and the Philippines that go back to the 19th century. And it's important to remember that when we deal with a political situation that obviously is very close, hotly contested, like you said, Lalia, the whole world is watching. But we need to remember that U.S.-Philippine relationships go back beyond politics. They are really close as friends, partners, and allies.
And Philippine Airlines is opening a new route in
They are, yes. I'm trying to convince my mother-in-law to come visit. It's much easier. She can just go direct. But it's terrific. We're seeing increased aviation ties between the U.S. and the Philippines. Part of the broader commercial relationship, the economic relationship. Our economic relationship is just one element that's flourishing. And I think that it's something that is easy to forget about when we talk about security. But really, economic relationships here, businesses, next week we have 2 trade delegations. The week after we have another trade delegation, all interested in various sectors of the Philippine economy. And I think those ties are also beyond politics, right? Business and economics, commercial ties don't pay attention to political parties.
And talk about economics, of course, the Filipinos remit billions, if not trillions. I'm not sure. But, the undocumented, they are the biggest
contributor of remittance
from the U.S.
From the U.S.
Right.
I think remittances are an important part of the Philippine economy, and it's really great to see that the 4.5 million Filipinos in the United States are giving back to back home.
Right, and their jobs are professional. A lot of in the professional.
Well, I mean, I think we see Filipinos everywhere. I think when you get to numbers in the millions, I don't think you see a single segment that Filipinos in offices at the State House, working as lawyers, working as doctors, working as nurses, working as teachers. there's no single segment. I think that they're pretty much everywhere.
And you said that Filipinos are everywhere. There are 8 Filipino. I'm not sure this.
More than
8 Filipino Americans
Many.
running among the candidates.
They are also
for
candidates.
various political positions across the United States in this election 2024 tomorrow. So.
Among them is my favorite, Todd Gloria of San Diego.
San Diego.
He's a Filipino-American, and Jocelyn Manalo of Daly City, the Filipino town.
Daly City, which is,
Yeah.
I think, the hometown
Yes.
of Vice President Harris.
Yeah. Jessica Calazo, a former chief of staff to California's first attorney general. Rob Banta is also campaigning for a seat in the California.
Yeah.
These are, among all those running Filipinos. I'm so
that's-
proud of it.
No, I mean, it's truly excellent. And that's also part of the system for us, right? I mean, you look at me, you had trouble pronouncing my name, which is fine. It's absolutely okay. But, it is very difficult for many of my diplomatic colleagues to understand that I'm a first generation immigrant, right? I was born in the U.S. My parents immigrated in the 70s. For me to have the honor of serving as a diplomat is just an incredible opportunity. And there was no barrier. There was no test. There's no way you have to look to serve as a diplomat. There's no way you have to be an elected leader, right? You can be Filipino American. You can be Indian American. You can be Chinese American. You can have your roots back as to the native peoples, and you could still serve. And that is something that we really treasure with our immigrant communities, is that they fully integrate and they become part of the American fabric.
Yeah.
That's really important.
Right.
That's how great America is. There's an opportunity for everybody.
It's a core value.
Yes.
It is. In a recent campaign, this journalist from Cotabato, he's the president of Philippine Muslim Today, Ka-Ali Makabalang, has sent this questionnaire. But before you answer this, let me just say the question. In a recent campaign rally message, Vice President Kamala Harris, Democrat presidential candidate, said that if elected, she would do everything within her power to end the Gaza war. The question is, do you think she will heed the popular call for a two-state solution to this Israeli-Palestine conflict? But before you answer that, we have to pause for another break.
Okay.
Philippine Standard Time is 5:44 in the afternoon.
Oras, hatid sa inyo ng PAGCOR.
Oras hatid sa inyo ng
Bingo Plus. Download Bingo Plus app now at Google Play or Apple App Store for a chance to win more than 75 million pesos jackpot prize. Visit Bingo Plus official website at bingoplus.com to learn more. With Bingo Plus, bingo sa saya, plus sa panalo. Gaming for 21 years old and above only. Keep it fun. Responsibly.
Si Miss Loli Acosta, Sulong na Bayan sa DWIZ 882. Panatilihing masaya ang paglilibang. Magtakda na oras at limitahan ang gastos sa paglalaro. Huwag magsugal kung nalulungkot. Huwag hayaang makasira ng buhay at pamilya. Para sa impormasyon ukol sa responsible gaming, tumawag lamang sa hotline number 02-8404-0171 o bisitahin ang www.casinofilipino.ph. Isang mensahe mula sa PAGCOR. Gambling is for 21 years old and above only. Keep it fun. Game responsibly.
Adik ka na ba sa sugal? Lagi ka bang nakakaramdam na matinding udyok na magsugal? Laging gigil na makabawi sa pagkatalo? Naglalaan ka ba ng mas malaking oras at salapi para sa sugal sa halip na para sa pamilya? Nababaon ka na ba sa utang at nagbebenta ng mga ari-arian dahil sa pagsusugal? Kung kailangan mo ng tulong o maging ang isang mahal mo sa buhay, may mga programa ang Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation o PAGCOR tulad ng Player Exclusion Program at iba pa. Para sa dagdag na detalye at impormasyon tungkol sa problem gambling, mag-log on sa www.pagcor.ph/regulatory/responsible.ph. Isang paalala mula sa PAGCOR. Game safely, game responsibly.
Sa pagtulong, kawang-gawa sa lahat sinusulong. PCSO, PCSO, hindi umuurong sa pagtulong ang PCSO. PCSO.
The Philippines proudly plays host to Miss Earth 2024. Learn and be amazed by the heritage each delegate showcases to the world, and join them as they tour and promote the wondrous heritage of the Philippines in October towards the coronation on November 9, 2024. Live stream on Miss Earth Facebook and YouTube channel, and telecast on Kapamilya channel and Aliw Channel 23 nationwide. Let's unite to safeguard our treasured past and protect our future in partnership with Aliw Broadcasting Corporation, stations DWIZ 882, DWIZ News FM Regional, Home Radio 97.9, DWIZ News TV, and Aliw Channel 23 nationwide. Miss Earth 2024.
Si Miss Loli Acosta, Sulong na Bayan sa DWIZ 882.
All right, we're back here at Envoys and Entrepreneurs, still with the Information Officer of Embassy of United States of America Public Affairs Department, no less than, of course, Kanishka. I'll just call him Kanishka to be safe. Okay, hanging question was from a journalist, a veteran journalist in Philippine Muslim Today. He's the editor of that paper based in Cotabato, and he was asking in a recent campaign the rally message of Vice President Kamala Harris, a Democrat presidential candidate, said that if elected, she would do everything within her power to end the Gaza war. So do you think she will heed the popular call for a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestine conflict?
So I'm going to give you a very classic diplomatic answer, which is that I'm not going to speculate, especially on the future actions of either executive, whether it's President Trump or Vice President Harris, who is elected president. I'm also not at all an expert in Middle East, but I do understand that there's lots of interest globally in this issue. And I'm sure whoever is elected president, this will be one of the top issues that they need to address once they take office on the 20th of January.
So it may be recalled that Kamala did not show up in the U.S. Congress when Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu addressed the chamber, something that peace advocates viewed as a sort of her dismay in Netanyahu's disregard of such call for the two-state solution. So is that something?
I think there's hope for a ceasefire. They're talking about it already.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Your next question, go.
Well, actually, Vice President Harris wrote a very nice op-ed article in the Asian Journal a few weeks ago, and she was very hopeful about Philippines and the Filipinos having visited Manila and Palawan sometime, I think, early this year or last year.
It was in November of 2023.
November, yeah, including the second vice, how do you call it?
Second gentleman. Yes.
And of course, she was hoping for the support of the Filipinos in the coming elections. And by now, maybe if we can borrow sleepless in shuttle, maybe she's sleepless, because
can't sleep anymore.
Of the elections.
How is it? Have you seen how she behaves? Is it like?
So I had the honor of working on Vice President Harris's visit when she was here in November.
Right.
And I think probably the only thing more stressful than a vice presidential visit is a presidential visit. I have not had the honor of working on one of those, but I think what we've seen with Vice President Harris, with Secretary Austin, with Secretary of State Blinken, with congressional delegations, all coming here to engage with the Philippines from both parties. Right, President Trump visited the Philippines during his time in office. We've seen bipartisan interest in the Philippines, bipartisan interest in the region, because we know that the future of the world is in Southeast Asia. Demographics here in the Philippines don't lie. Rapidly expanding population, the youth population in the Philippines is extremely large. Of course, we talked already about the 4.5 million Filipino Americans in the U.S., the 700,000 Americans living here. We could talk about how businesses like Texas Instruments, like we have smaller businesses in aviation, in the tech sector. We have businesses in the BPO world that are American businesses that are here, that are expanding. Like United Airlines is expanding their routes. They have a direct route from Narita to Cebu. All of these indicators, political leadership, visits, economic indicators, they just show how strong our bilateral relationship is. We have a strong security relationship as ironclad allies and as partners in prosperity with our businesses and our commercial relationships. I'd say that the one thing, the message that we got from Vice President Harris's visit is that we are truly committed to the Philippines, but that is not a political message. That is a message about our treaty alliance. That's a message about how important the Philippines is in the global picture for the United States, how important our bilateral relations are. And what a strong, how strong they are now after, it's been 2 years since the Vice President's visit. And I think that our relationship has never been stronger.
Yeah. But we have to contain the dangerous maneuvers of China in South China Sea and even in the West Philippine Sea. And we're glad that the United States and so many countries are helping the Philippines contain these threats.
So, when it comes to the incidents in the South China Sea, I do not see changes in the U.S. government's posture regarding the Philippines' sovereign rights and the 2016 Arbitral Tribunal ruling. The first expression the first very vocal expression of support for the 2016 Arbitral Tribunal ruling came from Secretary Pompeo.
That's right.
Right? And that is a position that has been maintained under the Biden-Harris administration. So I don't see a political change to that. I think it's very clear that the PRC is violating Philippine sovereign rights.
Very clear.
And we're with you. We stand with you as your ally. And we're here to support you and support the government of the Philippines, the armed forces of the Philippines, the Department of Foreign Affairs, as you try to work out this issue with the PRC in a peaceful and diplomatic way.
Filipinos are very glad with the assurances from the Americans, but so many are also nervous that maybe one big mistake may end up with an armed conflict.
Yeah, I'm not gonna speculate on those kinds of situations, but I think that our leaders, from President Biden to Vice President Harris, Secretary Blinken, Secretary Austin, we've made it clear that our commitment is ironclad, and our congressional leaders have made that exact same commitment.
Yeah. And very quickly before we finish our segment, you had an Education USA. Tell us more about it.
So we are very aggressively trying to grow the number of Filipino students in the United States. The U.S. higher education system is the best education system in the world.
It is.
And I know from personal contact that young Filipinos are among the most talented, brightest students that we have seen. And I'll be honest, I think that we can get more Filipino students to the United States. There are more options than the very expensive options of the world.
That's right.
There are options at every economic level. There's assistance available, even more than the U.S. government. Private scholarships are widely available, and Filipino students are in demand. You have the language ability. You have great institutions here at the undergraduate and at the graduate level. What we really want to do is grow the number of Filipino students who are studying in the United States. Again, that's also part of growing this bilateral relationship, because having more students who experience the United States help us strengthen our relations with the Philippines.
And one more last. Of course, we know that the Filipinos love Americans and you love us. What are the businesses that you're thinking of after you're posting here?
Sorry?
The business or the investments that you can think of to invest here.
So I think that American investors are looking at a variety of different opportunities in the Philippines. Next week, we'll be hosting a delegation who are looking specifically at the nuclear industry. We're hosting a delegation that's looking at technology and smart cities. We have investors who are interested in the BPO sector. We have investors who are working on things like solar panels, who are working on big manufacturing, shipping. So I don't think that I've seen a sector that's been ignored. Agriculture interest is really high. So I think that bilateral trade between the United States and the Philippines is only set to grow. And I think we're going to hit some big peaks in terms of commercial investments in the future.
Okay, last question. Go.
I think I'm done.
All right. Give us a 60-seconder then.
Yeah.
What is your message for tomorrow's election?
So again, I do want to stress that U.S.-Philippine relations are strong. They've never been stronger, and this support for the Philippines is from the Republicans, it's from the Democrats, and I don't see it going away. In fact, I think that we're going to see even more interest in the next administration, whichever administration is elected. I know that everyone's watching elections, so am I. With great interest. So we'll learn together.
Sure.
We may not know a decision by midday tomorrow our time. We may, who knows? But this is it's a great experiment in democracy. And it's a great shared value that we have with the Philippines. Our shared democracy is one of those things that really enables this strong alliance. Like all of you, I'm looking forward to learning who our next president in the United States is going to be. But I think that our relations with the Philippines are going to stand strong regardless of who's elected.
That's very well said.
I just want to thank you because when I went to the education fair, I was able to find out that you have waived the foreign student fee, which was exorbitant for a while now.
Okay.
There's no more additional fee for students.
We're always looking at ways to make it easier for Filipinos to study in the United States. I'm glad that you learned about that new opportunity. And I encourage everyone to look into Education USA. It's a free resource, and it is neutral.
Awesome.
So, great. Thank you so much for having me. It was a great experience.
Thank you so much. That's Mr. Kanishka, the Information Officer of Embassy of the United States Public Affairs Department. Of course, we want to thank TJ Rojas through you and Camille for the possibility of having him our guest. This is not the last time before you leave and expire your term.
See you again.
We'll see you again.
Yes.
Thank
Great.
you so much. Thank you, Sir Fred Gabot. And thank you sa ating naging kaagapay, no less than mga kasama natin dyan, si Jill John, si Aldrin, at si Fred Balamala, at si Daniela and June. Susunod na po, Butika ni Tita with Miss Marupa Hatisarni. And thank you, our Chairman D. Edgar Cabangon, our Chairman, and of course, our President Benji Ramos, and our Vice President Torny McNeil Rante. This is Loli Rivera Acosta. So I always say, keep God first in every area of our lives so He will direct our path. Bye, everyone.
Si Miss Loli Acosta, Sulong na Bayan sa DWIZ 882.
Ang programang ito ay inihatid sa inyo ng